Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. Are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. And welcome, yes, we got here. Welcome to Saturday's edition of the DC Movie and TV Daily. Today we're going to be reading articles from Screen Rant about the Shazam Superman body double, very shortly about who Peter Capaldi could be playing in the Suicide Squad. And also, we'll be reading an article also from Screen Rant. I'm not plugging or something, it's just easier to find them. Yeah, we'll be talking about the Flash Season 6 costume. After all, this is the DC Movie and TV Daily. Shall we get on with it? Yes, so very exciting news this week. Former Doctor Who, former Malcolm Tucker. He's as famous for doing both. Unless you're American, you probably never heard of Malcolm Tucker, but you do know that Peter Capaldi played the Doctor in Doctor Who. And he's been talking about his character now. He couldn't talk about it before. He was teasing us about a week ago about having his head shaved and doing a really big thing. And now we know what he's doing. So Peter Capaldi's Suicide Squad 2 character is completely bald. Now this is interesting. So all of a sudden you start talking about Lex Luthor. I personally don't think he's playing Lex because he does go on to say in this article that he's also going to be wearing prosthetics. So what could that be? But the only way he could be Lex Luthor in this with the prosthetics is if he's got the kind of what's it called, the power suit. Yeah, the comics, he kind of creates this power suit which makes him so powerful that he can fight Superman and he could destroy anyone. So if he is Lex Luthor and he's wearing prosthetics, it could be because he's wearing the power suit. But we'll see about that in the future. Let's read this article. Doctor Who star Peter Capaldi was recently cast in James Gunn's sequel, soft reboot The Suicide Squad, in a mystery role, but he has offered the hint that his character is completely bald. Filming on The Suicide Squad will begin this month, and Capaldi already has his hair buzzed short in preparation. So really, principal photography could be finished by the end of the year if they're starting now. Basically, I mean, to actually shoot a film these days, it takes about 3 months. I suppose they may have to continue it next month, but very interesting that they're already starting because that's not what we were being told a few months ago. This is great news. Capaldi joins a packed cast that includes returning characters from David Ayer's 2016 movie Suicide Squad, as well as a host of new characters. Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman, Jay Courtney, and Viola Davis will all be back in their respective roles, and will be joined by David Dastmalchian, Daniela Melchior, Steve Agee, John Cena, Storm Reid, Flula Borg, Nathan Fillion, and Taiki Waititi. Yes, he's in it as well. It's going to be a nuts. And Saturday Night Live's Pete Davidson is also rumoured to be filming a cameo role for the movie. And I told you the other day, it looks like Eminem is going to have the exclusive music deal for this film as well. That's what I heard. So we'll see about that. But this just sounds nuts, doesn't it? While we may not know who Capaldi is playing yet, his hair, or lack thereof, does limit the pool of possibilities appearing at Fan Expo Canada in 2019. The actor was asked about his shaved head and joked, "I hope it's going to come back." He then explained that he's not allowed to say which DC character he's playing just yet, but that he's going to be completely bald in the Suicide Squad. They started shaving it because they had to do some prosthetics, and so they had to take my hair back as far as possible, Capaldi revealed. So we did some head casts and stuff. When I go home, it's going to go all the way. So I don't think he's Lex Luthor by hearing that. Basically, the only reason he's having his head shaved is because he needs the prosthetics on, which would take away Lex Luthor, unless he's lying, so we don't think he's playing Lex Luthor. But I don't think he's playing Lex. But it's going to be very interesting to see who he's playing. Perhaps the most famous bald head in the pages of DC Comics is Lex Luthor, but it seems unlikely that Suicide Squad would reboot the character played by Jesse Eisenberg in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. At least not this soon. Batman v Superman is 3 years old now, isn't it? Right? I don't think that's soon. They're going to reboot the character. We're getting a new Lex. So, people who are not going to be happy about that, you have to face that. I love what Eisenberg did as Lex in BVS, but he's gone. He's admitted he's gone, and we're going to get a new Lex. So people have to deal with that. At least not this soon. Moreover, the fact that his role involves heavy prosthetics indicates that he won't be playing a character who's completely human, which I've just said. Brainiac is another villain who fits the bill of being both bald and alien looking, but between the massive roster of DC characters and the fact that Suicide Squad is likely to feature C and D list characters, the possibilities are nearly endless. Of course, he could play Brainiac. This could be kind of a cameo. This could be the beginning of Brainiac in the DCEU. So anything's possible, it's looking like apart from Lex. I don't think he'll play Lex, although he would have been awesome. Capaldi mention of going home to film the Suicide Squad confirms that production will take place in the UK, and it seems like things are very close to getting started between set photos and Warner Brothers lifting the veil of secrecy a little. We can hopefully expect to find out which character Capaldi is playing within the next few months. And isn't this exciting? Isn't this what I'm talking about? This sea change, that's going on with DC. They're very open. There's less leaks now. Actors are coming out and talking. It's exciting. Peter Capaldi in the Suicide Squad. He shaved his head. We don't know who he's playing. And we can guess it could be absolutely anyone. My two wish lists would be Martian Manhunter or Brainiac. I'd really like him to play Brainiac. I think he'd be an awesome Brainiac. But they're talking about the C and D list characters. I mean, they're probably right. But whoever he plays, we've got Peter Capaldi in the Suicide Squad. This is an all-star cast. This is going to be an amazing film. James Gunn is throwing everything at this. If you think he's more focused on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 than this, you are wrong. James Gunn doesn't get involved in something unless he can do what he wants to do. And clearly, Walter Hamada, Warner Brothers, have given him freedom of creativity, is what we were begging Warner Brothers to do after the Justice League calamity. And that's what's going on here. And it's very, very exciting. Now, I want you to comment down below and let me know who you think Peter Capaldi is playing. But in a moment, we are going to talk about the Shazam Superman body double because since it's come out on digital and Blu-ray and 4K, there's been a lot of talking and behind-the-scenes stuff from Shazam, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Yes, we all know that Henry Cavill didn't play Superman in Shazam. We saw Superman from the neck down because basically Henry Cavill was too busy to do this, and they could only shoot at this school, at this set, for one day, which is a shame, really. It would have been awesome. Yes, I do believe David F. Sandberg. I don't think they're lying. As I said yesterday, and I know it upset a couple of you, and a couple of you unsubscribed because I was saying Henry Cavill is still Superman because I didn't have anything to back it up with, but I know it in my heart. Henry is still Superman, and he'll be back. And I think it's a shame this couldn't happen. I hope in the future maybe that he could shoot something and they could put it in kind of another version of the film. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Probably won't happen now, but anyway, I do think we'll see Superman in future Shazam movies. So very, very, very excited. So the Shazam movie's Superman cameo actor Ryan Hanley dons the full suit in new behind-the-scenes images after establishing what's come to be known as the DC Extended Universe, with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Warner Brothers largely focused on characters that had already been introduced in these movies, with the exception of David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Then David F. Sandberg's Shazam introduced another new superhero to the DCEU in the form of young Billy Batson, Asher Angel, who transforms into the adult superhero Shazam, Zachary Levi. Second only to Wonder Woman in the DCEU, Shazam movie reviews were positive when the film hit theatres earlier this year, and though Shazam didn't appear in the previous DCEU entry before being spun off into his own solo adventure, Sandberg's movie was clearly set within a cinematic universe. Not only is Billy's foster brother Freddie Freeman, Jack Dylan Glazer, a fan of the Justice League, particularly Batman and Superman, but Shazam calls in a favour at the very end of the film for Superman to visit Freddie in school. Shazam's Superman cameo was widely rumoured prior to the movie's official release, and reports indicate that DCEU Superman actor Henry Cavill wouldn't be the one in the role. Now see what the full Superman cameo actor looked like in costume for Shazam. On Instagram, actor and stuntman Ryan Hanley posted behind-the-scenes images of himself in the Superman costume from the set of Shazam. In the first image, Hanley appears beside Levi, who's in costume as Shazam. himself, while the second comes from Hanley's Instagram stories and features a full body shot of his Superman costume. See both images. I think this is the best one. This is an awesome one. Can you see that? Oh, that is beautiful, isn't it? Don't it look great? Wouldn't you like to have the body and be able to wear that costume? I would. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. The latter image appears to be from Costume Test, while the former features handling full costume, hair and makeup for Shazam. Superman cameo scene with an over-exaggerated hair curl for full effect. Cavill was meant to film the Superman cameo in the DCEU film, but the Sandberg confirmed the actor was unavailable. When the shoot happened, it would be noted that prior to Shazam hitting theatres, there were reports of Cavill exiting the DCEU as Superman, though they've since been refuted by Warner Brothers and the actors' teams. While DCEU fans who appreciated Cavill's performances as the Big Blue Boy Scout may have been disappointed, it wasn't him in the Superman costume for Shazam. Hanley pulled off the short scene. Further, since the point of the scene is more the comedy in Freddy's reaction to meeting one of his heroes, Cavill actually doing the Superman cam may have pulled focus away from Grazer. No, that's just bollocks. It would have been awesome. You know, if Cavill's Superman, he should be playing Superman. He couldn't do it for that. It's fine. Excuse me. May have pulled focus away from Grazer. Still, Cavill making a cameo would have been more effectively tied Shazam to the rest of the DCEU, obviously. Though some may think it's for the best that Shazam remains slightly separate to the rest of the franchise. After all, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad and Justice League all proved to be divisive entries. It hasn't separated itself. What are you talking about? We have newspaper clippings of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. Who are these people who talk about films? Are they on drugs? Are they stoned when they write these articles? It is ridiculous. It's not separated from BVS. They couldn't be more entwined with BVS with the connections and cameos and Easter eggs it gives us from that film. Crazy. All proved to be divisive entries, keeping Shazam and the film's Superman cameo slightly removed may be for the best. It's not slightly removed, it's part of the universe, you idiots. At least now fans can see what Hanley looks like in the full costume. Honestly, right, guys, honestly, I just despair of these people sometimes. You know, you're reading what you think is an innocent kind of article about, you know, the Superman body double. I'm interested in it, and I'm sure you are as DCEU fans, DC fans, Superman fans, but they just can't leave the opinion pieces alone. Now, I love opinion and personality, but that wasn't a good article. That wasn't. To say that Shazam is separate from the rest of the DCEU, BVS and Suicide Squad, because those films were divisive. No. David S. Sandberg, Walter Hamada made a big decision there. It was interlinked with the rest of the universe. They even make a bloody Aquaman joke on the post-credit scene. For crying out loud, how intertwined do you want it to be? Yes, and the third Screen Rant article, yes, I'm still reading them despite them annoying me in the last Shazam article. But this one is how the Flash's costume is different in Season 6. Yes, let's talk about the Flash TV show. Let's talk about Flash Season 6 and the costume. The Scarlet Speedster has a new look in Season 6 of the CW's The Flash, or should we say DC's The Flash, not the CW's, right? And it's likely to be familiar to fans who follow Barry Allen's exploit in the comics. His new costume appears to be inspired by Barry Allen's costume from the New 52 relaunch. The New 52 Barry Allen is a younger, reimagined version of the Scarlet Speedster and a member of the Justice League. And on one that never married Iris West. I wonder if they're up to something here. Wouldn't that be great if he wasn't actually with Iris anymore? Oh, Candice, I love you. But you know what? Your character's a bit boring and doesn't really do much for the show, does she now? Anyway, do you know what makes me laugh about? Every year, the Flash gets a new costume on this TV show. I can't tell the bloody difference. It always looks the bloody same. It looks slightly tighter and a bit more, you know, reddish, darker red or lighter red or whatever they're doing. I can't really notice. I think you really have to be a geek and a top tier geek and nerd to absolutely notice the differences, because I can never tell. When I'm watching people's videos and they're going, "Oh wow, this new suit's amazing," thinking, "Oh, it's a new suit, is it?" Oh, anyway, let's carry on. The season 5 finale of The Flash left Barry Allen, Grant Gustin and company in a very interesting place. After spending a season fighting Cicada, Chris Klein, and getting to know his future daughter, Nora West Allen, Jessica Parker Kennedy, Barry had to watch as Nora was erased from existence. In the aftermath of Nora's death, Barry received a farewell message from his daughter. Yet, we have to have a message. It has monologue deaths. This is a different way of doing a monologue death. Instead of Elena going, she actually had a message for him. Received a farewell message from his daughter. Barry and Iris will of course still be recovering from what happened when The Flash returns for its 6th season in October, which will be heavily affected by the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. An official new photo from The Flash Season 6 reveals Barry's new costume. This new costume keeps the bright red colour and the emblem from the Season 5 suit and brings back the chin strap from the previous outfit, which was missing from his most recent costume. The new suit also adds yellow seams that go up from the belt to the chest area and onto the shoulders. Another new addition is a different set of earpieces on the mask. Though there have been a few changes, the updates made to the costume are similar to the changes made other seasons. Basically, these are little changes that you're not even going to notice. And you know what? Everyone hated Ezra Miller's Flash costume. I actually like it now, but I can confirm to you actually Ezra Miller will have a more comic book accurate suit for the Flash movie. I can absolutely confirm that. Like some of the other suits Barry has worn over the course of the series, Barry's Season 6 suit is rooted in the comics. The costume draws inspiration from the New 52 company-wide comic book relaunch in 2011 when Barry wore a suit covered in yellow lines. Although the Season 6 suit tones down the yellow lines, of course it does, and looks less busy than the New 52 version. It's become a sort of a tradition for the Flash to get a new suit every season, typically designed by Star Labs resident tech expert Cisco Ramon. Carlos Valdez, thank God he didn't leave, eh? Who, contrary to earlier rumours, will be back for Season 6. Last season's suit, however, came from the future and wasn't designed by Cisco. On occasion, Flash's costumes are linked to some way to the story, so it's possible that an event in the beginning of Season 6 will explain the reason for the Flash's new look. Yeah, well, that's a better article, Spring, right? Well done. Basically, right, as I say, I can never tell the difference with the new suit. I can't really tell the difference with this suit. But if you're excited about Barry having a brand new suit, it's massive. Now, this is interesting with The Flash. I told you like quite a few videos back that I think The Flash is the next show to be cancelled. So I think we'll have this season. I don't think this will be The Flash's final season because even with Arrow last year, they announced the final season. So I think the next season of The Flash, Season 7, will be its last unless they want to take it to a Season 8, which I doubt. I think Season 7 will be The Flash's final season. I think they're slowly winding down these shows, and I think they're going to be focusing on the DC streaming service, DC Universe's originals. Don't forget, if you are a member of DC Universe, the streaming platform, Titans Season 2, the season premiere is out. I've just downloaded it. And I'll be watching it, and I'll be able to review it for you. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or maybe sometime next week because I have got a lot on. But yes. So they're the 3 articles I wanted to read to you for today. Yesterday I was talking about this sea change within the movie industry, and I predicted a future where the industry and consumer would be looking up to New Line Cinema. And I think Shazam really helped that sea change. Now, I've been talking a lot about Joker creating a sea change, and it will. Both for people who are not going to be happy and for people who mostly will be happy. But Shazam did something. Shazam brought confidence from the mainstream audience to DC films. It changed people's mentality. And then reports of the Joker got people excited as well. But Shazam's an interesting film. A lot of people even accuse it of being a Marvel movie. But it's a clever movie. Because what it does, it takes the Marvel blueprint of being bright, light, funny, right? And goes even further with it. Because what David F. Sandberg and Walter Hamada and Peter Safran did with this film is something extremely different. They took the Marvelized formula and they said, but we're going to have a good villain. we're going to be very emotional. We're going to make commentary here on adoption, on children who are rejected, who need love, who need, and your family, your actual family doesn't have to be your family. You can go and live with a bunch of strangers who you fall in love with and become your family. A great message, And then you've got the horror aspect, because Sandberg has experience in horror. So when he does the horror sequences, they are actually quite scary and dark, and you are scared for the family and the children, the way it should be. So basically, he takes the Marvel formula and says, "Do you know what? Let's take that formula. Let's show this brightness, this comedy, but let's also do something raw and sometimes a little bit dark with it." And I think this Shazam changed everything for DC, for the mainstream audience, because it took that Marvelized formula and it said, we're going to do this with it. But let's be clear, the DCEU isn't a place for just bright and light, funny films. We've already seen that. We've seen that with BVS, Man of Steel. We've seen that with Suicide Squad. And the next DCEU movie is a bloody R-rated movie, for crying out loud. How awesome is that? And it's this variety that I keep on talking about. So I think that Shazam really changed everything. As I say, it cleverly takes that Marvel formula, but does something very different. In a way, it's trying to show you, it's pretending it's just a light bimbo of a film, right? But it's so much more than that. And I think that's why audiences embrace that. Yes, it made $400 million, but you've got to look beyond that. You look at kids wearing Shazam tops, talking about Shazam. My nephews and nieces are obsessed with Shazam. I've watched it 20 or 30 times by now. Once you get them young and future, because they're the future, if you can get the kids watching a film like Shazam, watching the DCEU, that's actually all you need. So something really powerful is happening with DC films, thanks to New Line Cinema, Walter Hamada, and, the legs on the ground, who is Peter Safran. I don't call him Peter Safran. His mother named him Peter Safran. All I'm saying is I call him the legs on the ground because Walter doesn't talk publicly. Peter Safran is the public speaker. You'll see him on your Shazam bonus features. He's a great guy and he's very intelligent. We've got a great team running these films now. So as I say, if you're not excited for the future of DC films, are you even a DC fan? Come on, people. This is very exciting. As we see the decline of the MCU, we see people like what's that guy? Harry Styles. Harry Styles' first film was with Christopher Nolan. He turned down Kevin Feige and the Eternals, or whatever film it was, right? They are getting turned down left, right, and centre. And we're getting Joaquin Phoenix. We're getting Peter Capaldi. Come on. You've got to be excited about that.